Hello, friends. Last Saturday, I was in a cab, and suddenly the phone starts ringing. It's usually suddenly anyway. And I look at the screen, and it says Lalit Shah, USA. It's a video call on WhatsApp. I have always told my friend Lalit, never ever call video directly. Just call audio and then say, "Are you guys decent? Can I switch to video?" He said, "Why?" I would say, "Look, what if I were not dressed, or what if he said, "Kya farak padta hai, yaar? We are friends." What can you say to a guy like that, right? He's one of my best buddies. we we, we were together for 2 years at Sydenham College, last 2 years. He was a Sydenhamite all through, while a couple of other friends and me, we all moved from different colleges. Like I came from Podar, and Jagdish came from HR, and Pandit came from some other university. But we all became very good friends. So Lalit and I, we of course we were friends at the college as classmates, but also outside college, like all the others. Now, in the beginning, it was very funny. Lalit would call me, "Hello, Madhusudan, how are you?" And I would look at him, and he would smile at me, and kind of was very friendly. And I said, "Why is this guy calling me Madhusudan, though my name is Jaimini? My father's name is Madhusudan." So I told him, "It's Jaimini." He said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, okay." And then next day he would say, "Hello, Madhusudan, how are you?" I said, "Yeah, my name is Jaimini. My father's name is Madhusudan." He said, "Oh, okay. I thought Jaimini cannot be a name. So I thought Jaimini was your last name and Madhusudan was your first name. Jaimini Madhusudan Thakur." Because he always wrote Shah L.R., Shah Lalit R. I said, "Lalit." He was the general secretary for Gujarati Sahitya Mandal in our college. So he made me a member for 1 rupee for the whole year. That's cheap, isn't it? But anyway, that's how we became friends. A very funny guy. Always has some kind of joke. Mostly corny. We call them PJs, poor jokes. But he's full of them. And he's great company. So he came to America. I went to America, and then he, in a few months' time, he also joined. He finished his MBA. I did not. He was a chartered accountant from India, so brainy guy. Anyway, his wife also joined, and we all had a great time in San Francisco, and then they moved to the East Coast. So our communication was limited to phone calls. We always met almost every day in Mumbai, and then suddenly we are separated from Pacific to Atlantic. But anyways, that is something which happens to most of us anyway. The thing I was going to tell you about is Lalit is an accountant by profession, tax person, very calculative. He knows his figures, and he is very, very frugal with his money and everybody else's money. Like he would. I have lots of stories to tell, but this time, in last few calls I have spoken to him, he is kind of changing. And that surprises me. It's a pleasant change, it's nothing wrong. This time, like the other day, 3 days ago, he says, "I was cleaning up my yard. There are a lot of dry leaves, and I was raking them. And I have always been thinking, whenever I rake these leaves, that all these beautiful green leaves become so dry and dead, and they fall on the ground, and then we either burn them or bury them. Once upon a time, they were so beautiful, green, lush green, like dancing in the beautiful breeze. And now look at them." He said, "But then a few months later, new leaves will come up. And they would again be so beautiful and lush. And again they will dance in the breeze. And again they will be the witnesses to all the beautiful chirping of birds. And then again they would fall, dry, dead. And again they will be either burnt or they will be buried. He said, I always, whenever I do this, I think of that. And I said, oh, this is so similar to our human lives. I'm listening, I said, Lalit, yeah, you're right. He said, I want you to write a story tell a story on that. I said, Lalit, it's a very obvious thing. And maybe I can do a couplet, like a couple of share or a poem. But a whole story, YouTube story on that? He said, yeah, why not? It's so important. It's so significant. I said, yeah, it is significant, as a matter of fact. And I think it's a good simile, but I'm sure it's been done so many times before. He said, yeah, but so what? You can do it in your own way. I said, that makes sense. So here I am telling you about it. He's right. I have never thought of it in that way. But you always look at the leaves, and then think, it's a beautiful little things, and then they slowly grow into green, dark green, shiny beings, and then they start getting dry, and then they slowly fall down, and then they are part of the ground. They become part of the ground, they become part of the dirt, they become part of the manure, they become part of the fertilizer. And they help. That's what Lalit said. Yes, I remember. Lalit said they die, but they don't die in vain. He said when you bury them, they become fertilizer. And then they help their own selves to grow again. I said, wow, Lalit, that's a new one now. I'd never thought of it that way. He said, see, you always learn something new from me, he said. I said, yes, sir. So that's a very novel approach. So now, according to Lalit, all these beautiful little leaves, that shine and grow on trees and plants, or creepers maybe, eventually they dry. Eventually they dry and then they fall on the ground. Either they are raked away and thrown somewhere where they rot, or they're burnt. Either way, they're gone. Their existence, diseases, is gone. But in the ground, they become fertilizer. They start giving nourishment to the ground, and then slowly a new plant comes up, or the existing plant gets food from that, and new leaves come up. So rebirth, I don't know how you want to call this, but it's very beautiful. It's nature's system. It's a cycle. We all know about it, but we never pause and think about it. He said, interesting. We all are going through the same cycle, human beings, animals, plants, fish, insects, everything. All living beings become that. And that happens to everybody. And that's the beauty of nature. We call ourselves, we are intelligent human beings and we are recycling things and how smart we are. But nature has been doing that for thousands, millions of years. So we're just copying them. But it's a good imitation. So, Lalit, you asked me to make a story out of your thought, and I have made it. And I'm very surprised, very happily and pleasantly surprised that your accountant mind is now becoming a philosophical mind. That now you are thinking about these lofty things in life. Are we all getting old or what?